All right, check it out. I got my sweat on. It is early in the morning and I felt inspired today. I was asking myself, how could I create some value for you? And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna share with you the number one secret to success in real estate, which also happens to be the number one reason why people fail in it. Having a successful business, creating wealth, ultimately, I think it comes down to one predominant thing. I'm gonna take you up to my library and sit down and have a quick little study session with you on what I'm gonna call your morning power hour. Your mindset, the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way that you perceive the world ultimately determines how much success you're capable of actually having in life. And hands down, I see investors fail on a pretty regular basis because they don't have the mindset. They don't actually have a strategy to succeed. They actually think that the secret to winning is what they know. They think knowledge is power. To some extent, that's true, but it's a paradox that needs to be coupled with an understanding that the way that you see the world and the way that you feel about the world is ultimately going to determine whether you see the right opportunities, whether you take the right initiative. And I'm still out of breath from my hills, man. I live on this steep mountain, and it's actually relevant because there's a habit that I have every single morning that I do, or at least most mornings, and I do it to get this trained. Here's the thing. This beast is absolutely capable of producing what you want in life, but if you don't have it trained, then it's also going to screw you up. And so I want to share with you what my power hour is and what I do to train my mind, my heart, and my body to be in sync. Because when people look at my results and are like, oh my gosh, Kris, how did you do thousands of homes? How have you had so much success? How have you helped so many people? You've done charity work and you've traveled the world and you retired at such a young age. Like, how did you do all that? It's because of a discipline that I have every single morning. In truth, the biggest reason why people fail is because they have a failing mindset. They've got fear, they've got scarcity, and I want you to understand it's not just one thing. It's 1,000 little things. No one escapes childhood without believing they're too fat, or they're too old, or they're too young, or they can't do it, or they're not good enough, or they're not special, or they're not gifted. All of these limiting beliefs, there are thousands of them. No one escapes childhood without harboring some of these inside. So inside of us, every one of us, we've got good thoughts and bad thoughts. We've got good beliefs and bad beliefs. And the bad beliefs, if you can't get them under control, if you can't kick them to the curb, if you don't have a way of doing that, then you're probably never going to be successful. Think about it. In your life, how many different endeavors, how many different things have you tried, and has it actually given you what you've wanted? Chances are you keep thinking that the right opportunity is going to unlock the door and all of a sudden you're going to be successful. But the opportunity that you're waiting for is you. This has to be trained. I don't know anyone successful that has not gotten training in their mindset. So I have a way of training my mindset every day for max success. And if you do this, what I can tell you is that even just 30 days from now, you will start thinking very, very differently. So here's what it starts with. Number one, you have got to wake up your body. Like, what are you doing every day to wake this thing up and say, I've got the self-discipline to beast this into creation. If you're fat, get unfat. If you're slow, get faster. Bottom line is, biotech, the modern day miracle of what's happening in medicine and science, you're gonna be living a lot longer than you currently think that you are. And if you take care of your body, ultimately your body can produce lethargy, and then all of a sudden you don't feel like doing something that could be productive. So number one, there's gotta be a daily discipline for you to tell your spirit who's in charge of this body, and that's you. The second thing is you gotta get smarter. You cannot rely on what you knew yesterday. If you keep relying on what you knew yesterday, before long you'll be relying on what you knew 5 years ago, and before long you'll rely on what you knew decades ago. And you know what? Your brain's gonna die. You don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So every single day there's gotta be some commitment. So I just finished this book called The Way of Aloha. So amazing. Right now I'm studying the Hermetic ancient art of, I'm probably gonna say it wrong, Kabbalah. I've always got my nose in some kind of book, and if you look at some of my books that I've got here, I've got a variety of things. Most of what I do is like audiobooks, but you take a look at something like Atlas Shrugged. big fat meat and potatoes right here, all about what would happen if the world lost its producers. This is a fantastic book to learn how to become a producer. So you gotta feed your mind. And if you do, I've got a habit right now and a goal of I read a book at least once a week. If I read one book a week, I'm taking someone else's entire lifetime of a single topic and I get to understand it. They get to take an entire lifetime of mastery and give it to me in a matter of hours. That's to wake this up and for my spirit to say, I'm not just in charge of my body, but I'm also in charge of this mind. Okay, the third thing that I do is I wake up my spirit. I am more than what I know, and I'm certainly more than my body. I'm more than what I think. So the way that I wake up my spirit is prayer, meditation, getting connected. Meditation this morning, I sat out here on my hammock on the deck as the kids were off to school, and I allowed myself to just zone out into the space of nature, quiet my mind, and become in charge of who this is. All three of these things, though, are in preparation for the most important thing I can share with you today that will determine whether you're going to be a successful investor. You want to be a successful investor, you have to believe that you're going to succeed before you are. And before I share this number 4, I just want you to think about this for a moment. Old school Christianity, right? The Bible basically says that in the beginning there was God, and then he said, hey, there's this matter unorganized, let's make an earth. Hey, let's divide the waters from the land. Let's separate the light from the dark. And on each of the 6 creative days, he spoke something present tense into creation, and then it happened. In our life, are you doing that? Are you speaking present tense something into creation? For example, you've never done a real estate deal. I don't care how young you are. I don't care what your excuses are. I don't care whether you got money, no money. Those excuses will never work for you or me. Have you stopped to apply the creation story in the way you're creating your life by saying, I've successfully completed my first real estate deal before it's happened? Because if you can trick your brain, your subconscious, into actually believing that, then guess what happens? All of a sudden, it starts acting as if you've already done deals. And then it can start seeing deals. And then it can start seeing people with money and partners. And boom, you become the deal maker and you start putting it all together. Now, I got a bonus for you at the end of this video. So you want to stay for the end because I'm going to give you something incredibly valuable. And it's a type of mentorship that you can get from me in a very incredible way. Here's the 4th one. Every day, I do something called a manifesto. My manifesto is basically what I am manifesting. It's present tense statements. Now my wife is holding my phone, but if I had it, I'd open it up. And what I have is present tense statements that I'm speaking into creation in my health, my wealth, my relationships, and my personal confidence. In all 4 of those areas, I've got a couple of songs worth of statements. I'll jam my tunes on after I'm totally in a meditative state. I've woken up my body, I've fed my brain, and now I'm ready to speak into creation what I'm building. This is a powerhouse secret, right? Because what I'm doing is I believe that I am a world-class father that instructs his children perfectly. Well, that's a statement. That's not a statement of ego or bragging rights or pat myself on the back. That's what I want for myself, so I speak that. And then as a result, I have regular conversations with my wife and my kids and figure out how can I improve the way that I parent, because my mind is obsessed with that thought. There are certain thoughts that if you will obsess over, you will become strong in. And all you have to do is figure out what you're weak in and what you want, and then you speak of them present tense positively as if they've already happened. It takes me a few minutes every day to go through my current manifesto. Every day, I am swapping out some statements, I'm putting in new statements. Basically, the science of the brain is that your brain needs to believe something for a solid 21 days, 4 weeks before it actually ingests that and believes it and is willing to believe it. So you could take the most crazy statement, I'm a millionaire. And you're like, I'm nowhere near being a millionaire. But start now, start young, start thinking it now. And what you'll do is you'll start by reciting it every day. You'll start practicing it in your mind. And what you create up here ethereally, you get to experience one day materially. Body, brain, spirit, and then what you're manifesting. This is my morning power hour. This is the way I go about creating the life that I want. Most people don't have access to this. Most people don't have the discipline to do this. But when I find someone that's hungry, to them I give them this message. I put on these life-changing events every couple of months. And I've got one coming up here, for example, in October, 11th, 12th, and 13th. You can go to kriskrohn.com. You can read about my live experiences. And when you come out to them, we're gonna do crazy crap, like walk on fire. I'm gonna put you blindfold through a bunch of mouse traps and rat traps that could literally tear a toe off. And I'm gonna do some crazy stuff, and I'm gonna give you crazy training because I want to teach you what millionaires know, what billionaires know. I wanna teach you how we think. I wanna teach you how we do life different. Whatever schooling that you're getting in life, most of us, by the time we finish junior high or high school or whatever you drop out at college, we have pretty much finished our education. But honestly, the education of success is entirely different than what you learn in school. There's very little that you learn in school that will actually apply to becoming a millionaire in real estate or successful in business. You need to sign up for a new education. Now, here's the bonus that I wanted to offer you. Right now, I have set the price low to my early bird pricing. If you go to kriskrohn.com, you're going to find my next couple of events, and I've got them listed for $499 instead of $1,000, $1,500, or $2,000, depending on what the event is. Right now, you don't even need a special code. I'll be changing it in a few days from the website. If you go kriskrohn.com and you click on live experience, come check out one of the next events. I decided to make that price low so that I can hand deliver an experience for you that can help change your life. And I'm gonna tell you, anyone come to one of my events, it is going to be a life-changing experience. So, you watch the video and now you're thinking, Kris, I can do this. Maybe I even wanna come out to the event. But if you're like everybody else, you're gonna think, oh, that's during school, that's during work. I don't know if I can get work off. I already took all my days off. You know, oh, it's gonna cost money. I'll have to find a hotel or someone I can room with or an Airbnb. Guess what? You wanna know the difference between the really successful and those that aren't? They're willing to sacrifice. And by the way, sacrifice does not mean giving something up. It means trading less for more. Trade $500 for an experience that'll change your life, and it will light a fire under your real estate investment. Friends, you wanna know what the biggest secret is, why people fail and why people succeed? It's the mindset. You're the creator of your mindset, and ultimately you either have a system and a strategy for how you're doing that or come into a live event like mine where we can help beat this into submission, where your spirit has complete control over the kind of mindset that can build the wealth, success, the fitness, the relationships, and everything you want in life, or you don't. If you don't got it right now, then I'm gonna invite you to do everything in your power to come to one of my next events. Go to kriskrohn.com, check it out, and friends, choose today to take this knowledge, take this information, and wake up tomorrow morning extra early and start taking an extra hour or two a day to invest in yourself. If you do, it will pay off.